Strap in for the lore. That's me, 27 years old. I've already done so many things even I'm too ashamed to talk about. My mom thinks I'm the perfect son, and before I went to Nori, it was true. I have higher education under my belt. It's undergraduate level though, but anyway, years of decoding practice and newspaper work, and I'm very resourceful. Even if someone were to tie me up, put me in a safe, give me a stipper, and throw me into the sea, build myself up a battle sloop to be able to sail, fly, and shoot raccoons. I need this work, so I really look forward to hearing from you. My letter to the Metropolitan Library in the name of Mivari, the Red Baroness. I'm still waiting for those morons. Serban is Bria's son and my cousin. He's got such inscrutable eyes. And it's sometimes hard to comprehend what he's talking about. Turns out that Serban is a good fellow. He seems rather smart to me. I wouldn't be surprised if he always read all the books he could find at home and in the local library, Vardo. Maybe we'll be friends someday, and I wouldn't mind having an ally in the camp of the enemy. The enemy being his aunt, I suppose. What have I got in my inventory here? I have nothing useful. Big mood. Can't take it anymore. If this continues, I will start to cut quotes from the Shire between my aunt and bracelet. I need to talk to them. Alright, I'll go talk to them. But there's more than one character? Oh, shit. This garbage-ass fucking wood is shitty and I hate it. It's quite rare and capricious to work with, as well as insanely expensive. Almost all Marrow groves are cut down after half a century ago, and I've never seen trees with my own eyes. However, I know from the guide what they look like. Small frozen willows with sad blue crowns. The trunk is made of transparent resin, and the real wood lies hidden inside, the heart of the Marrow. And yes, it looks exactly like the heart of a living creature. Gross. Jewelry is crafted from it, and mystics use it in many different rituals, sometimes weddings, sometimes funerals. They say Marrow possesses a strong magic, almost like that wielded by the suari. But I am no mystic myself, and I have no frame of reference from which to judge. This Marrow, whose heart I hold in my hands now, used to grow within the Black Baron's garden. Not anymore, of course. Antiquity. Oh god, Antiquity. She is incredible. Newspapers always call her the Baroness with a man voice, and it's not hard to guess why. Her beautiful timber drives both guys and girls crazy. Luckily for me, Antiquity prefers the first option. And her name can often be said, seen among the voice actors radio series. So we also have, we're up to radio age. She also has her own broadcast on the radio. Antiquity sings deliciously, and her music is rock and roll. My favorite song is Let's Hunt the Dragons. Yes, I'm not afraid to admit it, even though Laszlo and Meremy were always laughing at me. Well, they sound like assholes. Latouri, my homeland, a country of the endless spaces, dirty roads, and nomadic romance. A classic Parba is someone not very literate, education Latourians in the 8th grade of school. Man who has a couple of Danes, a Vardo, and a wife with a bunch of kids. He travels with his camp around the neighborhood, sometimes visits the marquee, the local town, to sell or buy something and listen to gossips. Those who aren't born in Latouri consider it a country of freedom and opportunities. For me, it's more like a trap from which I still can't escape. Nori. I love Nori, but my first year was pretty far from a good time. At first, I was proving that I was worth something to the locals. The Norians are closed people, so they have special requirements for strangers, not always fair. Then I was getting used to the crazy rhythm of life. It's always noisy on the streets, even in the suburbs. Electric wires are buzzing, trams are ringing, phones are ringing. Everything is in a hurry for business. Nori is considered the scientific center of Shangla for a good reason. The most intelligent humans in Shahash from all around the world gather here. So apparently humans in Shahash are two dominant species here. But just being smart isn't enough. Money and luck are needed too. As a result, I wasn't able to do any singlet here. This is named for closed science clubs. I found an alternative by doing a business in paranormal patrol. Journalists are also respected in Nori. Suari. Immortal creatures who live within the borders of the flat. Our favorite topic for serious scientific articles, science fiction books, and sensations in magazines like Magic and You. I used to collect information about them, even tried to get to the flat to find them, but I didn't, and sometimes I could feel Suari are watching me. In some countries, closed cults connected with the immortals still remain. Thanks to them, the rest of the world now know that Suari live in clans, for example. Suari are not gods and not spirits, but they're very powerful and live by rules inaccessible to the understanding of mortals. It seems like facts in there, the rest are speculations and theories. The ones I was actually interested in. Once upon a time, there lived some guy. Let's say he was human because it's more interesting. He went on a flat expedition to look for Suari, but he saw constellations written in the ground and trees. He quickly drew them and went back home very curious about what he had seen. After they went back to the flat again, not even once, not even twice, but several times to find new constellations, but it was useless. The next constellation the demon saw only after 10 or 12 years had passed. One of them was drawn right in the body of some dead animal. It was producing some strange ringing sounds like the devil. So the human came back to the conclusion that the constellations are a secret Suari language, that they're ciphering something in those patterns and send each other messages. Who are they hiding from? Who knows? Many years later, other enthusiasts appear who were also interested in this subject, and I was one of them. I have a few different theories about how to read the constellations, but they never really worked when I tried. maybe they won't work just yet. The Suloken clan. This clan historically lives in the flat on the territory of Latouri, and like many suari, avoids mortals. But earlier, in the times so far away from now that even if I was born 100 years ago, I would still miss them, everything was different. Parbas worshipped them as gods, made sacrifices, prayed, and Sualoken helped as they could in return, while staying in the shadows as always. Of course, almost all the miracles that the Suloken performed, and which were described in the books, were fictitious. Every mortal who met these feathered naga just wanted to fulfill their duty and emphasize the divine status more. But everyone agreed that Suloken are able to cook incredibly tasty dishes, one portion of which can feed a large family. Religious cooperation between mortals and Suloken ceased abruptly, but Paraba didn't cry much because of it, and immediately switched to the spirits, to whom they were drawn, probably ever since the dawn of creation. Don't know what any of that means. When I was a child, my mother told me a story about Glashten, a bogey horse who was taking care of the herds in the camp owned by one wealthy baron. The spirit protected herds from diseases and forest predators until the camp was suddenly ambushed by Balerian troops, our aggressive neighbors. Then famine came. There was nothing to eat at all except horses. Then Baron, do you ever have a choice, led to slaughter a part of the herd to get some meat. Glashten didn't like it, so he waited for the night to come and led the rest of the herd to the lake, then where he dragged them under the water. The horses turned into a predatory fish-tailed monsters who like to eat mortals' livers. That's a kelpie. It's a kelpie, my dude. That is a regular-ass seahorse. The territory of the immortal suari. Upon first sight, it isn't terribly different from Stream, the world of mortals. In addition, there appears to be no visible boundary between them. But it is a place where time is transformed into mere convention, and familiar objects are distorted beyond all recognition. Scientists and adventurers embarking on a journey into the timeless lands do so at their own risk, hoping to chance upon suari artifacts or even suari themselves. But one should not step too deeply into the flat stream. Those who do so risk becoming trapped within time itself and returning aged beyond their years. Some even die in the process of doing so. For the sake of personal protection, tourists are advised to bring bell rings when inspecting the border regions. If the glasses begin to crack without reason, they have strayed into dangerous territory, and I right-click, god damn it! If these glasses begin to crack without reason, you have strayed into dangerous territory, and it's time to head back with all due haste. So it's a combination of the Feywild and the Sick Land, you say.